Recently on this channel I've covered some pretty depressing topics. Because of this, today I wanted to focus on a more uplifting topic, and in this video I will be talking about poop. One of the things that most living creatures have in common is the fact that we all have to poop. For humans it's usually a necessary inconvenience, but when it comes to the rest of the animal kingdom, poop becomes a bit more complicated. It can be used to communicate with other members of your species, and some species rely on poop from other animals to survive. In this video I'll be going through just a few of these strange stories, as I'll be going through 5 animals that use poop in strange ways. And for our first species we'll be heading to the dry open areas of Australia, as we have the wombats. Now there are 3 species of wombat alive today, the common wombat and the northern and southern hairy-nosed wombats. These mammals are all quadrupedal marsupials, with backward-facing pouches. With their stubby legs, these wombats waddle across their natural habitats, where the majority of their diet is made up by grasses. On this diet they can reach a very respectable size of around a metre long, which makes them the second largest marsupial. Although this size is impressive, a hippo-sized wombat relative used to roam across mainland Australia. Although wombats are marsupials, they do have a lot in common with rodents. They have a similar body shape to some South American rodents, and they also have teeth that don't stop growing. Although these similarities are quite interesting, the wombat's closest relative is the koala. Although these wombats can seem quite defenseless, this couldn't be further from the case. Not only can wombats run as fast as humans, they've also got a few other defensive strategies. Wombats are known for being great diggers, and often have many burrows around their territory. When threatened, they will enter these burrows headfirst, and block the opening with their rear. This rear is primarily made out of cartilage, and it's very hard for the predators to get hold of them. If this doesn't work, they also have an impressive bite, so these wombats really aren't to be messed with. But now we move on to the reason why the wombats are on this list, and that is because famously they have square poo. The wombat's intestines constrict to make this square poo, and there's been many theories as to why it's shaped this way. They can create up to 100 cubes per day, and they are often placed strategically around their territories. It's theorized that these poops are used to communicate with other wombats, or are even used to attract mates, and their square shape stops them from rolling away. And I have to admit that the wombat has the most aesthetically pleasing poo. But for our next species we'll be heading to all the oceans worldwide, as we have the sperm whale. Now in the whale world, sperm whales are quite an oddity. They are quite slow moving like the baleen whales, but they have a hyper carnivorous diet just like killer whales. Sperm whales are the largest toothed whales, and are also the largest toothed predator. These whales are known for their diving ability, and can dive as far as 2,250 meters into the depths. This makes them the 3rd deepest diving mammal, second only to the southern elephant seal and the goose-beaked whale. In these depths they feed on very dangerous prey, including the colossal squid and the giant squid. These creatures are rarely seen, but battle scars are very common on adult sperm whales. This whale doesn't only have a very large body, as it's also got a very large brain. Its brain is the largest known of any modern or extinct animal, and is 5 times heavier than a human's brain. Today sperm whales are listed as vulnerable, as today they still face many threats. Deep sea oil and gas exploration can cause multiple issues for sperm whales, such as loss of hearing, and also water pollution. Many are still hit by vessels each year, and these whales are especially sensitive to sound. But when the threat comes in a form of another animal, the sperm whale can use its poo to escape. Sperm whales are known to poo in a dense cloud, and these are sometimes called poopnadoes. This is a very rare defensive mechanism, and has only been witnessed a few times. This can often confuse or scare off a threat, and some of these clouds can span 30 meters. Although this can seem very gross at first, their poop is actually very good for the ecosystem. Their poop is loaded with iron, and helps to stimulate the growth of plankton. So many ocean creatures rely on plankton to survive, so their poop really does help to feed the ecosystem. But sperm whale poo can also be quite valuable. It often floats to the surface, and can sometimes contain a smooth waxy substance. This substance is often used in fine perfumes, and can be worth thousands of dollars per kilogram. So out of all the animals on this list, the sperm whale definitely has the most valuable poo. But for our next species we could head to the Americas, Europe, Africa and Asia, as we have the vultures. Now vultures are often not the prettiest of birds, mostly down to their bold heads. Not all vultures possess these bold heads, but they are a very useful adaptation. As most vultures are scavengers, they often put their heads deep inside carcasses. If they had feathery heads these would often get very messy, so their bold heads actually help them out. There are 23 species of vulture alive today, with one of the largest being the black vulture, and one of the smallest being the Egyptian vulture. Many people see them as not very valuable members of an ecosystem, but this is truly not the case. Although scavengers may not seem very important at first, they do have multiple multiple benefits. They are an important part of the cleanup crew and work as natural carcass recyclers. They stop the spread of diseases, as their highly acidic stomachs destroy most diseases. They also stop the spread of unwanted scavengers, such as feral dogs and hogs. Because they get rid of bodies so quickly, they can also stop the contamination of water sources, and often do farmers a favour by getting rid of dead livestock. Unfortunately, over the past 100 years, there's been a major decrease in vulture numbers worldwide. This is mostly through contaminants that they pick up through their food, as there's been multiple instances of lead poisoning, where vultures have eaten bullets inside of carcasses. Many of them have also been killed by drugs given to livestock, which they have then absorbed through the carcasses. Luckily, there are many charities set out to help these birds, and I've left a few of their links in the description below. But as well as being very interesting large birds, vultures also tend to poo on themselves. This may seem very unnecessary at first, but it comes with a few benefits. Most bird poop is in a liquid form, and when these vultures poo on their legs and it evaporates, it has the effect of cooling them down. This can help in very hot climates, and even though it's gross, it looks like it works very well. This leg pooping also has another advantage, as because their poo is highly acidic, it has the effect of a disinfectant, and can rid their feet of harmful bacteria. So although it seems strange at first, there's a good reason why these vultures poop on their feet. But for our next species, we'll be heading into the tropical oceans, as we have the parrotfish. Now there are over 90 species of parrotfish alive today, and they are some of the most beautiful fish in the ocean. They often come in many different shapes and colours, and they do play an important role in reef ecosystems, as well as their striking colours. One of the first things you may notice about parrotfish is they have strange teeth. These teeth almost look mosaic-like, and are incredibly strong. They use these teeth to scrape algae off of coral, and some species even feed on the coral itself. The smallest species of parrotfish can reach a size of around 13 centimeters, but the largest can reach 10 times this size. When parrotfish feed on the algae in reefs, they also chomp down on a lot of the rock itself. When this rock finally makes its way through the fish's digestive system, it comes out the other end as white sand. This sand often contributes to many of the beaches in the tropical regions, and some of Hawaii's beaches are thought to be made out of parrotfish poo. It's thought that one parrotfish can create 450 kilograms of sand a year, so the next time you go on holiday to Hawaii, remember that you could be sitting on a pile of parrotfish poo. But for our next species, we'll be heading to Southeast Asia, as we have the bird poop frog. Now this frog is a species of shrub frog, and has quite unique patterning. In the areas where they're found, there are plenty of predators that would happily feed on these frogs. Because of this, many members of its family have come up with ingenious ways of avoiding predators, such as the gliding frog who glides away from predators, and the various species of frog with great camouflage. This frog falls into the second grouping, because as I'm sure you can guess, camouflages itself as bird poo. They not only blend in with bird poo, but are also known to blend in with tree bark. But these frogs are not alone in looking like bird poo, as certain caterpillars and spiders are known to mimic bird poo. So although these frogs may not have weird poo themselves, they do disguise themselves as poo. If you think you know of any other creatures that can make it on this list, then let me know down in the comments below. But thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. But until next time, goodbye.